Look at that, I got the goal going already and everything. Look at me. Look at me being a professional. Ugh. Alright. Okay. Alright. Hi, it's me. Welcome. It's Tuesday. We're gonna talk about the senator from Maine deciding he wants to fight with the entire country of Canada. Apparently, it's more specified to Western Canada, but I mean, I feel like all of this seems like an all or nothing kind of scenario. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna. I don't know if you get to pick. You know what I mean? Okay. So I got it pulled up. It feels like Monday again. It does. You're right. It feels like Monday part 2. All right. Let's look at this. So, a vision for welcoming Western Canada into the United States. So yeah, this guy wants to start a fight with all of Canada. Yeah, just Maine. Maine is gonna fight the entire country. It's gonna go well, I'm sure. Surely. This is gonna be great. Oh, so Senator Joseph E. Martin of Maine. The strength of the United States lies in its fidelity to the Constitution. I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. Do we want to talk about the constitutional crisis as it has been dubbed in the United States right now? Is that what we're doing? Is that how we're gonna? So where we're gonna start with this? What constitution? The one that Trump is using as toilet paper? That constitution? Is that the one you're talking about? Is this the beginning of a Stephen King novel? Oh, good one. Tell me another. Yeah. Its emphasis on national sovereignty. Unless it's other people's sovereignty. Their own sovereignty matters, but nobody else's does. And its roots in Western civilization, Christianity, and personal responsibility. Sure, Jan. Sure. How could anybody read this and take it seriously? These principles are not negotiable. Yeah, the Constitution's never been amended. I don't know what you're talking about. None of that applies to the United States. Literally none of these things apply to the United States. Not the current United States. These principles are not negotiable, and they must form the foundation of any expansion of the Union. Hey, remember when we were all like, hey, annexation is a threat of war, and now we've got a governor of Maine threatening to do some expansion of the United States into Canada, Canadian territory, while crowing about fucking sovereignty? Oh dear. What about Ukraine's sovereignty? I'm gonna be a senator now. Vote for me. I'll be the senator of Maine. uh, it's certainly no Canadian political baggage. Yeah, no, don't jump ahead. You're gonna spoil it. Expansion of the Union. If the Canadian provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba were to seek admission into the United States, it must be as full American states, not provinces with conditions or dual allegiances. So they wouldn't even become a territory. Poor Puerto Rico. Not even a territory, not even like Hawaii, full on states. Why are we specifying British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba? Like, not Ontario, not Quebec, not New Brunswick, not. Someone should just send this guy an instructional pamphlet on how to say you're sorry so that he can integrate better when Canadians take over Maine. Today's episode of What Has This Guy Been Smoking and Where Can I Get Some? Yo, he's huffing Trump farts, man. Oh, you could bottle Donald Trump's bathwater, put like sparkly gold food coloring in it, and MAGA would buy it. Like he's Bella Delphine. Eastern Canada has too many non-white people. Oh. They're not going to be very impressed when they find out about Manitoba then. Or British Columbia, for that matter. Well, he's not a U.S. senator from Maine. He's a senator in the Maine government. What's the difference? It just says Senator of Maine. That's all. Quebec maple flavored Coca-Cola. They would come into the fold by the constant of their people and the invitation of a constitutional guided republic. There would be no hybrid governance, no special cultural carve-outs, and certainly no Canadian political baggage. So, I'm assuming, maybe I'm being a little bit too generous here, but I'm assuming this is somewhat related to Alberta talking about being separatist and everybody and their mother laughing at them, because if they were to separate, the amount of land that Alberta, the province of Canada, owns is not a lot. A lot of it is a lot of the land is owned by First Nations. So, for anybody who doesn't know, First Nations is the Canadian version of Native American, but like we're more respectful than that and talk to them like they're fucking people with their own land and culture, because we're not assholes. So they go by First Nations because they're a nation. Anyway. The path forward was so not only is this threatening Canada's sovereignty, but it's also threatening the sovereignty of the First Nations people in these states, or in provinces, soon to be states. The path forward would not be about convenience or economic expansion alone, but about the reaffirmation of liberty, state sovereignty, and national identity. Who asked this man? What question did anybody ask this man? What letter did somebody write that he decided that he thought this was a reasonable thing to say in response? Was this just unprompted? Did he just wake up one night and was like, sit down, Alexander, I got this. Oh, he's a senator of Maine's state government. Oh, there's a federal state, and then every state has a senate each too. Oh, I understand. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification. I apologize. I'm Canadian. I don't understand your wibbly wobbly government nonsense. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's neat. Okay. A union of this kind would not dilute the American experiment. It would strengthen it, fortify it, and renew it with citizens who have consciously chosen Americanism over Canadian federalism. What? He accidentally butt dialed Canada. He managed to piss off the far right conservative party of BC. That's an art. Yeah, I know, right? The United States and their propaganda and like provocative, I guess, statements have done a really good job of pissing off everybody in Canada in a way that is like making everybody work together. So like there's a problem with the conservatives in Canada and like the right wing in Canada, but like the behavior and actions and results of what's taken place in America has caused a massive schism in the conservative party in Canada, which is great. I'm here for that. That's fantastic. Not because I don't like conservatives or I don't agree with right wing politics. It's because it hasn't been healthy for their own party. Like I don't really have a problem with a center right parliament. Like I think that's fine, but like not extremist right, which has been dragging reasonable, good, conservative minded people to extremes, and they don't want that, and we don't want that, and nobody wants that. Look at what's happening to the dumpster fire in the United States right now. But alas, I digress. But pissing off the BC conservatives in a way that's gonna make them work with the liberals, as well as pissing off Quebec so much that they're like, no, we're Canadian, is hilarious to me. Hmm. Okay, I need to know what is choosing Americanism over Canadian federalism. Like, I don't know what that means. What is Americanism? Like, if I put this into Urban Dictionary, what do you guys think I'm gonna get? Americanism, also referred to as American patriotism, is a set of national values which aim to create a shared American identity for the United States that can be defined as an articulation of the nation's rightful place in the world, a set of traditions, a political language, and a cultural style imbued with political meaning. The concept is famously contested, and there is no consensus on which is the true or authentic ellipses exposition of Americanism ellipses, because each of these text ellipses is informed by different interpretations of the nature, purpose, and goal of Americanism. Americanism is not merely nationalism and can cover two different meanings. The defining characteristics of the United States or loyalty to the United States and defense of American political ideals. These ideals include but are not limited to independence, equality before the law, freedom of speech, democracy, and progress. Interesting. That's just the Wikipedia article. America has an identity. Everyone is broke. Americanism is when you put lard in your drinking water. Oh, that's funny. Alright. Well, sure, I guess. This would not be annexation. No? It wouldn't? Really? Are you sure? It sounds a lot like annexation. It would be an adoption. Oh, listen, United States, we know how you treat your biological children. Well, how do we think you're really going to treat your adoptive children good? Or well? I don't think so. You're going to turn Canada into fucking Cinderella? Is that what he's trying to do? Welcoming home kindred spirits who were born under a different flag, but who desire to live under our Constitution and accept our responsibilities, customs, and traditions. Then just move. Just move to America. You don't need to annex our provinces to do it. Just be like, hey, listen, if you're from these states and you believe in Americanism, here's a compound for you to move into, and we're gonna fast line you. Yeah, they want to turn us into a vassal state. fucking weird. Do you think they'd try to make British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba all one conglomerate? Like it's just one state? Or would they try to keep them as provinces? Do they admit the United States is an experiment? Yeah, well, you know. The Constitution, terms of union, not suggestions. This is like, I'm just imagining somebody coming to a negotiating table and dropping this on the table and then sitting down, putting their feet up like they fucking did something, and everybody in the room being like, who let this cowboy hat wearing child, irritable child into the negotiating room? Whose child is this? Any admission of new states must be governed strictly by the U.S. Constitution. Article 4, Section 3 grants Congress the authority to admit new states into the Union precedents, such as the admission of Texas, Hawaii, and even parts of Mexico under the 1845-1848 expansionary period show that voluntary union is both legal and historically grounded. Oh, so you admit that you stole parts of Mexico? You should give those back. You care so much about sovereignty, you should give those bits of Mexico back. However, this must occur under the same rules that apply to all other states. There can be no special terms, no exemptions from federal law, and no preservation of previous political systems. Why? Like, I don't mean that as a criticism. I just don't understand, why wouldn't you want to adopt political systems that function? So, like, if Mexico was doing something that made sense, and you took over Mexico, why wouldn't you leave its political structure alone and change it slowly over time and adapt it as necessary, rather than just forcibly remove a good and functional bureaucracy? Texas was a war, Cali was a war, Hawaii was a coup. The prospective states would need to dismantle their provincial governments as they are currently constructed, abandon Canadian legal codes, and adopt American laws on gun control, speech restrictions, crown lands, or religious education that conflict with American norms would be nullified. So not even like all legal stuff, just stuff that's not normal in the United States. This is so pathetic. Governed by legislatures and executives elected by their own people with no foreign oversight or entanglements. Boo, I'm being repressed. Bill of Rights, freedoms, not bureaucratic permission. For too long, Canadian citizens have been subjected to an illusion of freedom administered through bureaucratic means. What? The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, while lofty in rhetoric, provides absolutely no protection. What? Supremacy of the U.S. Constitution? What? The Charter of Rights and Freedoms, while lofty in rhetoric, provides no absolute protection. Nothing provides absolute protection. That's not how anything works. If you actually look at the Feline brought it up too. If you look at the statistics, Canada has more freedoms than America. You guys are currently trying to take away fucking gay marriage. How is that more free? You're removing people's rights. How can you be free if you can't spew hate? I don't know. Does the Commonwealth have to get together and go kick America in the balls? I'm in. I mean, that does seem to be the way things are going, although admittedly America is continuously just punching itself right now. Nothing gives absolute protection. No lines on paper are on their own are ever going to protect you by itself. There needs to be institutions in place to follow through with what is documented. One of the reasons why the United States is having so much problems right now is because the Constitution is there and it's being violated and there's no consequences to it. The Constitution doesn't do anything on its own, it just lines on paper. It's an idea. If you don't actually follow, it's like having Second Amendment gun rights. If you have Second Amendment gun rights to fight your government when they start oppressing you, and you never use it, it doesn't really matter. America, we're free because we have guns. My brother in Christ, they brought up fucking Alberta and Saskatchewan. You want to talk about guns? America is Jim Carrey from Liar Liar. Kicking my own ass in your mind. Stop breaking the law, assholes. It's entirely subject to be overridden through legislative action and court interpretation. And the Constitution isn't? In contrast, that's okay, they're going to explain. In contrast, the United States Bill of Rights recognizes liberties as inalienable. Okay, so tell me more about that in your concentration camp. So listen, your rights are inalienable as long as you're not gay or a woman or trans or not white enough, whatever that looks like. If you speak another language, if you don't have enough money, you don't fall within this tax bracket. This is why lead-based paint buildings was dropped by so many other places. Yeah. We have guns. Yeah, Australia's got guns. Apparently the US Constitution can't be overridden by legislative action, so it isn't amenable and isn't subject to interpretation of the Supreme Court. Yeah, apparently not. Apparently that's all fake news. Fake news, everyone. I don't know. This is really dumb. This verse is stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Level of stupidity here that's like, I don't think you know how anything works. I don't know how somebody can be like so wrong about the way a government functions when they work in the government. Like it baffles me to a degree. Like if you do something, it's your job and you spend 8 hours a day doing that thing, even if you spend 4 hours a day doing that thing, and you do that thing for a couple of years, that's a lot of hours that you've plugged into just doing that one task. Why do you still suck at it? Like, how do you still suck at it? Like, how is that even possible? Like, how can you possibly spend so much time doing something and be so bad at it? Does Canada take refugees from the United States? They're working on it. If you are somebody from the United States and you are looking to immigrate to Canada, there are resources out there, and there's been a push to make those resources a little bit more streamlined for people, because there's a lot of Canadians who care about their United States neighbors. I would recommend checking out Todd Maffin, Maffin, Todd Maffin. He's got a Discord setup that's just check out his YouTube channel and you'll find it. But he's got a Discord setup that's been gathering resources and helping like find people like immigration lawyers or like anything like that. I don't think it's like wholly complete, but it's certainly a resource. Yeah, health professionals. Yeah, there's a big desire for health professionals. There's also probably going to be a big manufacturing push in America as well. So if you do engineering, or tech, you probably have a decent chance as well in the next couple of years. They are not permissions granted by the government, but protections against the government itself. Perhaps the starkest example of this is the Second Amendment. In Canada, firearm ownership is subject to licensing, classification, and confiscation. In the United States, it is a constitutional right that shall not be infringed. There's still rules in the United States, though. Like, there's still gun licensing and classification in the United States. And you can still have your weapons revoked in the United States. So what the fuck are you even talking about? It's just that you don't follow up on your laws as much or invest as much as Canada does in that area. And it's on a state-by-state basis. It's not even a federal thing. The rules across different states changes. So what the fuck are you talking about? It's not up to interpretation. God, this is embarrassing. Hello. In the United States, it is a constitutional right that shall not be infringed. Upon admission, residents of the new American states would have the same right to keep and bear arms as those in Texas, Florida, or Wyoming. Hey, what about California? What about New York? What? Why are you calling out Texas, Florida, and Wyoming? No registration lists, no may issue discretion, and no bureaucratic intrusion. Except for all of the bureaucratic intrusion of becoming a whole new state. Religious conviction and the right to assemble, these would no longer be subject to the ever-changing winds of Canadian tribunals or hate speech commissions? Are you mad? Are you mad that the truckers got labeled fucking terrorists? Are you mad that the Canadian version of Nick Fuentes got arrested and shut down when he threatened our government and tried to hold a protest where he was like, we're gonna, overthrow the government and we're gonna attack parliament officials, and they were shut down, as opposed to your country? Bro thinks he's gonna recruit an army of anti-woke patriots to defeat the deep state. It does sound like that. It does sound like that. Right to assemble like protesters have in DC. Oh wait, that's been removed. Oh, you mean like the right to assemble for all those students at the universities? The pro-Palestine protests? Those kinds of rights to assemble? Wait. Oh, you mean the Black Lives Matter protests? Yeah, those ones? Oh no, not that one. Oh, what about the one that where the police firebombed their house? That one? What about that one? No? What about the civil rights protests? No? Hoses, dogs? Nobody remembers? Oh, okay. He talks about the government as if it was an alien that just came down in a UFO and not an institution of the people, for the people, by the people. Yeah, he does. Are you mad that we fucking took away Jordan Peterson's license? Is that what you're mad about? They would be protected under law, enforced through an independent judiciary that would have to review incidents and would have to interpret the law? Do you think we're stupid? You think we can't read? And preserved by a political culture that prizes liberty over sensitivity. I mean, this is kind of an Americanism, I guess. America has, this idea of, the individual and doesn't really have a very strong sense of, a conglomerate. So, in Canada, for example, if you're harming other people, the other people take precedent over your rights as an individual. And that's sort of the way our laws work. So when, I don't know if there's a really good example I can give off the top of my head. Let's talk about the truckers. When the truckers did their anti-vax, anti-mask, fascist protests, A lot of them had their, I don't know if it was all of them, but a lot of them had their banks, like their bank access to their bank accounts cut off. Because they were funding terrorist organizations via things like PayPal. So they got access to their money cut off. So they couldn't keep giving money to foreign terrorist organizations. And a lot of people were upset about that and said it was government overreach, but it's been reviewed and it definitively was decided that it was like, no, you're terrorists. it. Is it cool if I wish Canada could be a state? I mean, why? I like, yeah, you can think whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you you can't have opinions. I would like to know why. Like, why you think that would be like when you say cool, do you mean temperature or do you like what do you mean? Elaborate. Uh ever-changing winds. Okay. Sovereignty and identity. America, not North America. I'm sorry, excuse me, what? Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Statehood under the United States Constitution means more than a change in passport. It demands an embrace of American identity. Oh, here we go. Fucking melting pot propaganda. Historically grounded. Oh yeah, is it? Is it historically grounded with all the history that the Trump administration has been rewriting and deleting? Left bit of the text is. Oh yeah, look at that. My bad. Me. Look at that. Let me fix that. Let me fix that for you. Not you. Get out of here. Freaking guy. There you go. Oh god. What a mess. There you go. Better? You made it worse. I made it worse. So you can go to Canada? What's stopping you from going to Canada? I wish Minnesota was a province. Minnesota would be cool. Passport is like $160. You're telling me you can't scrounge it up or ask what to get a passport to go to Canada or to go to the United States from Canada? I really don't think you need. I don't think you need a country to become a whole nother country if you want to travel. You're in Mexico. You're in Mexico and you want to travel to Canada. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I get the vibe that I don't think it would be easier to travel to Canada from Mexico if Canada became part of the United States. Anti-Canadian manifesto will bring Canadian tourists back to his state. Yeah, no, I doubt it. Where was I? Oh, hold on. I was on a whole nother page. Here we go. Sovereignty and identity. Statehood under the U.S. Constitution means more than a change in passport. It demands an embrace of Canadian or American identity, historically grounded, civic-minded, and fundamentally national. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. True conservatives, as opposed to those fake conservatives, reject the globalist mindset that sees borders as inconveniences or cultures as interchangeable. I don't think. I don't know. Americanism is a real, tangible tradition. Is it though? Is it though? I'm not sure about that. Rooted in Anglo-American law, Greco-Roman philosophy, and Christian moral order. Oh, classic. It values family, localism, moral restraint, and individual accountability. You first. Thus, these new states would not enter the Union as Canadian Americans with special linguistic rights, multicultural institutions, or dual systems. The model must be the melting pot, not the mosaic. Are you trying to get rid of the French? Yeah, as a US citizen, there's not really anything stopping you from traveling to Canada. You might be in trouble when you go back, though. Tangible? Man, I don't know. This man has started. This guy is trying to start a war. That's what he's trying to do. There would be no preservation of British monarchism. Monarchism. I mean, we don't care. Canada doesn't really give a shit. No bilingual federal documents. Yeah, they want to get rid of the French. No imported bureaucracies. New Americans would be expected to learn and respect the Constitution, salute the American flag, and teach their children the history of Washington, Jefferson, and Lincoln, not Louis Riel or Pierre Trudeau. What? That's not how history works. Listen, the guy from Maine is just gonna take all your Canadian children and shove them into schools and then beat the French out of them. uh, uh, uh. Canada should move away from using English as primary language and start increasing French. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Absolutely. I really do think all of our schools should be French immersion. Who is this person? There is a senator from Maine. So they're not the federal senator, they're the state senator. They're a state senator. They're not the only one. They're a senator of that state, from my understanding. All Canadians shall eat pumpkin pie. You mean apple pie? No more maple syrup for you, British Columbia. That's just not how history works. Why wouldn't you teach all of it? Maine wants to do to the Canadians what the Canadians had done to the indigenous people back in the 19th century. Yeah. Maine wants to do a Canada genocide. This is not a rejection of cultural memory. That literally is. That is literally what that is. It is the formation of a unified civic identity, just as Italians, Germans, and Poles became Americans through hard work and cultural adaptation. So too with these former Canadians. He's somewhat right, but not in the way he thinks he is. Would BC have to be renamed to American Columbia? Baby. You can only season your food with salt. Sorry if it was a harsh comparison. No, I thought the same thing. I was also thinking that. It is a harsh comparison, and it should be. There's nothing wrong with that. The price of liberty. The price of liberty is not just the burden of responsibility, is the willingness to give up old loyalties and adopt a new country without apology. No. Respectfully, fuck you. Aren't these enticing reasons to join the United States? I know, like, if this is the best they have to try to convince Canadians to join the United States, this is really not like you're not even gonna offer us like soda in the fountains, like the water fountains. Like, come on. Economics and state sovereignty unleashing industry and agriculture. The Western Canadian provinces are economic powerhouses in their own right, yet they remain shackled by Ottawa's regulatory regime, carbon taxes, land seizures, and ideological interference. Sorry. No, no. Alberta, the pipeline Alberta wants has to go through British Columbia. Alberta is fucking landlocked. Come on, you'll have what you currently have, but worse, half of Canada. It's more than half. It's like 80%. Like last polling I checked, you had like 80 to 90% of Canadians being like, "Oh, fuck you." And fuck no. I would like to remind you all that the United States product boycott is still ongoing. I haven't seen American produce or produce from the United States in my grocery store in months. Flights are failing. The tourism industry is dropping like a fucking rock. Alberta's vast oil reserves, Saskatchewan's potato and wheat, British Columbia's forestry and fisheries, and Manitoba's hydropower could become powerful engines within a decentralized American economy. Or they could be powerhouses and not end up destroying themselves. Because, like, if you just don't farm your trees and you just clear cut everything, you're gonna run out of trees. Maybe we could be more American about this. How is it that the United States deals with outsiders threatening their sovereignty and coming into their country and trying to change it? We could try it their way. I mean, that's never actually happened to the United States. Nobody's ever actually invaded the United States. The United States attacked Canada before Canada was called Canada and got kicked out. They took shit from fucking Mexico. Nobody's actually ever invaded America. It hasn't happened. They just like to pretend it did. They're just LARPers. They just like to LARP. They're just goofing. There's a bunch of mad goofing. Under the United States model of state sovereignty, control over land, industry, and taxation largely remains within the state. Okay. The Environmental Protection Agency would not be able to unilaterally shut down an oil sands operation. I don't think they do that. Remember, yeah, I don't think that's something that they do. A local school board could teach civic virtues and U.S. history without interference from nationalized curriculum. That's literally not true. You literally described nationalized curriculum already when you said we're not going to teach about the Canadian history and we're only like Canadian leaders, we're only going to teach them about American leaders even though the area we're in had Canadian leaders. That is nationalized curriculum. You fucking idiot. Taxes would be debated and set in local legislators, not directed from a faraway capital beholden to Eastern urban votes. Tell me you don't understand how our fucking government works without telling me you don't understand how our government works. Isn't education a provincial responsibility? Yes! Correct! There are federal standards, but like there's like standardized testing, but the way education actually gets done and the costs and like the way it gets laid out is based on provincial stuff, which is done via districts and district lining. So like when there's a school, you have a school district, and that school district decides things about that district, which is overseen by the province. We sort of stormed America in the War of 1812, but they started it, so I don't know how you want to classify that. We classify that as winning. It wasn't an invasion. I wouldn't classify that as an invasion. I would classify that as the United States invading, not the other way around. That's not even how America works. What is he talking about? I don't know, man. I don't know what he's talking about. True conservatives, again, as opposed to the fake conservatives, believe in economic nationalism, protection for domestic industries, and the revitalization of agriculture and manufacturing independence. Is that why you're making potash so expensive? By tariffing the shit out of it? These new states could become regional leaders in food production, energy independence, and infrastructure revival. So, but yeah, they could, but why would they do it in the United States? Like, why should they do it for you? What are they gonna get out of it? So far, it's fucking nothing. Their economies would not be centrally planned by distant technocrats. Tell that to Elon Musk. But directly by the will of their own citizens and elected leaders. As states, they would thrive, but not because of federal bailouts, but because of freedom. What does that mean? What? Your economy will be good because freedom. Huh? What kind of idealistic nonsense rhetoric am I like? What is this? Oh. Classified as based. State representation, power to the people, not the crown. Upon entry, each new state would gain 2 U.S. senators and congressional seats proportional to their populations. This shifts power westward, breaking up the current East Coast. Wait. Hold on. If British Columbia, Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan became part of the United States and got Senate seats and whatever the fuck based on whatever the shit, why would it matter about what the eastern provinces that are still Canadian care? It doesn't change the power dynamic. It just removes it entirely. It doesn't shift any power. It just completely upends it. So now he's talking about, hey, you 4 get to be states, but the rest of these fucking guys. Huh? What? What are you talking about? What do you mean? East Coast-centric elite and introducing new constitutionally minded voices into the halls of power. Oh, they mean the East Coast of the United States, not like Nova Scotia or Halifax or... Well, Halifax is in fucking Nova Scotia. Halifax is a city. Newfoundland. These would be states formed not by conquest, but by consent. By people who voluntarily chose their path of liberty, not the path of submission. Okay, I would like to remind you, the province of Alberta is massive amounts of it is treaty land. And treaty land means that the people who live in Alberta only control parts of it based on specific agreements that have been made with the First Nations people whom the treaty is with. Canada isn't just the Canadian government, it's Canada and First Nations. If Alberta or British Columbia or Saskatchewan or Manitoba or Ontario or Quebec or any of the territories or anybody else wants to leave, they legally have to deal and negotiate with First Nations and deal with those treaties. Alberta can't just be like, well, this is mine now, and leave. Like, you would have to, like, cede the treaty land and deal with the violation of that and deal with the consequences of that scenario from both a legal standpoint and a fallout standpoint. He thinks they would be Republican states. He does think they would be Republican states, and that's kind of insane. Yeah, it's not coercion or anything like that. It's not conquest. You just have to do everything we tell you to do, and we're gonna give you nothing. We're just assuming that what we have is better when it's clearly not. Not a problem. The U.S. doesn't mind breaking First Nations treaties. I mean, that's true. The United States wouldn't care, but Alberta would have to. So, like, and I think the United States would have to find a way to contend with the fact that, hey, you're getting Alberta, but the percentage of Alberta you're getting is actually only, like, the equivalent of getting a one-bedroom apartment. It's 600 square feet. The U.S. government would give the First Nation people blankets. No! 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 Cease! Desist! Oh, Geo's got it. Tell me, Geo. Tell me the way. Tell Elmo. U.S. federal government. We want this land. We write a law that allows us to exploit it. Yeah. Yes, correct. But here's the thing about that, right? If Alberta government, we already have a treaty with First Nations, so we cannot accept that law. Well, the Alberta government would be gone under this scenario. Under this scenario, the Alberta government would be gone. There would be U.S. replacement, and then the treaty land would just either revert to First Nations or be refinagled with, I don't know, what would we call it? What's left of Alberta? North Alberta? Alberta Prime? My supremacy clause. Yeah, U.S. federal government. Federal law overrides state law. Funniest part to me is that in response to diminished Canadian tourism, he decides that doubling down on the 51st states bullshit would be at all helpful. Probably gonna lose his seat because of this. Maybe. This is the war talk. This is somebody spouting war propaganda. Like, he wants Canada to get mad and respond to this. Like, he wants Canadians to get angry and react to this and, like, talk and like, be like, oh, them's fighting words. But, like, I don't think Canada cares. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, nobody knows who this guy is. You know what I mean? Like, nobody fucking... Nobody's gonna fucking care. Most people I know in Maine were absolutely disgusted by this. Yeah, hey, if you're from Maine, leave me a comment and tell me what you think. So they're saying not the path to submission, except this entire thing is writing about how Alberta would have to be submissive to the United States. Canada's reaction, Bugs Bunny, no. 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 Is this one. No, no, no. No, no, no. In addition of liberty-minded... This is stupid. The addition of liberty-minded states could realign the national political balance, pushing back against federal overreach. But the Republicans hold the House and the Senate right now and the presidency, don't they? Isn't this a full aren't the thing that we're talking about right now? Isn't the United States like basically all right wing extreme right now, and your entire political scale has been lilting right for years? Like, what are you talking about? What political balance? You know, bring balance to the force, Anakin. A Federalist revival could be sparked by these, like ICE. I would call ICE federal overreach. Open border policies and centralized control. Like there's no open border policies. It's stupid. Federalist revival could be sparked by these new Americans who have lived under centralized government and know firsthand the cost of national uniformity and top-down policymaking. Tell me how you don't know how our government works without telling me you don't know how our government works. What national uniformity and top-down policymaking the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god. Historical precedent and moral foundation. It's so much of this is just nonsense. Like, it's just nonsense. This doesn't follow there's no reality here. It's just, historical precedent and moral foundation. This is not a fantasy of empire. It's not? Really? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but in this other one, did you just call it America, not North America? Which is exactly... That's exactly a fantasy of empire. That is a fantasy of the United States wanting to control and be in power for the entire continent. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong in that Trump's whole rhetoric around, these stupid lies, they're just lines on paper, who cares about borders, it's so ugly, if we got rid of it, it'd be so beautiful. Have you seen the video of masked ICE people refusing to ID and then telling people filming them because liberals ruined the country? This is not a fantasy of empire. It is a vision deeply rooted in American tradition. So, fantasy imperial fucking expansionism is deeply rooted in American tradition, is it? Oh god. I mean, I'll give you one thing about the fantasy part. I'll give you that. The Texas annexation of 1845, the westward expansion, and even the earlier debates over admitting territories like California and Missouri all centered on key questions of identity, governance, and consent. The vision presented here does not demand that we conquer our neighbors, but that we offer them a chance, if they wish, to leave behind failing ideologies? Failing ideologies. Like what? People get rights and healthcare is neat? A broken leg shouldn't bankrupt you? What are you failing ideologies? Oh my fucking god. Oh, there's dashes in it. AI must have wrote it. Oh god, it's ChatGPT strikes again. That ain't a tradition. It's something. The vision presented here does not demand that we conquer our neighbors, but we offer them a chance, if they wish, to leave behind failing ideologies and unite with a constitutional republic built to last. Built to last, eh? Yeah, how's that going for you? How's your fucking how's your healthcare system? How's your happiness index? How's your education? How's your GDP? How's your stock? How's your wealth equity? How's your freedoms and rights? How's all that going for you? Is it poorly? Fucking yeah. So stay Canadian, right? Right. Listen, if there are people in Canada who were born in Canada and prefer the way the United States does something, fucking move. Literally nothing's stopping you. You can just go. Like, nothing is stopping you from doing that. How are your egg prices? How are your egg prices? Oh my god, there's going to be so much famine in the United States in the next couple of years. It's going to be so bad next year, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Is your coffee prices? I don't know. I don't drink coffee. Very rarely do I ever drink coffee. Built to last. Trickle down economics, my friend. There is moral clarity in saying, here's our system. It has endured civil war, depression, foreign threats, and internal conflict. Has it? Has it, though? Has it endured those things? I don't think it has. I'm strongly in the camp of being convinced that the 9/11 terrorists won. They got exactly what they wanted. Oh, you want Canada to take over America? I don't think we want it. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of messy. It's kind of a fixer-upper. You know what I mean? It'd be like it's a lot of investment for what we're getting in return. It's not perfect. It is not. How many people have been assassinated in the United States? Like, people in power have been assassinated in the United States because they preached against, like, capitalism. I can think of two off the top of my head, right? You've got Kennedy and you've got Martin Luther King Jr., right? That's two off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more, but that's two. And that's like specifically assassinations, not even like, oh, we're interfering in other people's governments and doing coups and installing dictators in foreign areas. I mean, like specifically fucking Dave's still on his Andrew Yang kick. That CEO, does he count? I don't think so. He wasn't political. I mean, I'm willing to count it, but I think he's like a little bit offside, right? Like, Kennedy was assassinated, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Both were due to political reasons, right? They're political assassinations. So if it's sort of, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you three. But I can think of two off the top of my head. If you guys can think of any other political assassinations of, like, America on America. Was Malcolm X assassinated? Because I thought of Malcolm X, but I wasn't sure if he was assassinated or not. That's four. And how many people have been? How many political assassinations have taken? Oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln. Absolutely, that's absolutely a political assassination. That's five. That's 4.5. Yeah, Kennedy was one of the reasons why Kennedy was assassinated had to do with, like, his civil rights positions and his positions on capitalism. Ask not what the government can do for you. I don't know who Harvey Milk is, but I'll take your word for it and call that 6. So chat's able to, like, double and triple the number off the top of my head. How many Canadian political assassinations have there been? I'm gonna look it up. Canadian political assassinations. Wikipedia. 2. There's two. Wikipedia comes up with two. Pierre Laporte and Thomas Darcy McGee. And if I go to America, list of assassinated American politicians. Lincoln, James A. Garfield, William Kinley, John F. Kennedy, Josiah Anderson, Thomas C. Hinderman, James M. Hines, Thomas Hoggy? I don't know. Edward Dexter Holbrook, John M. Clayton, Jose Francisco Chavez, John M. Pickney, Huey Long, Robert F. Kennedy, Leo Ryan, Allard K. Lowenstein, John H. Wood Jr., Richard J. Daronco. Like, there's so many. There's so many. I'm still scrolling, man. This one, Melissa Hortman, it says June 14th, 2025, member of Minnesota House of Representatives, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Suspect is in custody, anti-abortion violence. I'm still like, oh my god, there's so many. These assassinations carried out against American politicians occurred as early as the 19th century. Earliest which to have been carried out against David Ramsey in 1815. 61 assassinated American politicians listed. The most common method is a homicide with more than one shot. According to Wikipedia. No, not all of them were even. So of the 61, I don't. They weren't all politicians. Some of them were like judges and like seat holders. So yeah, Melissa Hortman got assassinated 2 months ago. Yeah. There are currently political assassinations taking place in America, in the United States, now. So, like, if you want to talk about, like, fucking, ideologies, is it built to last? Our system has endured civil war and foreign threats and internal conflict. Has it? Has your system done that? I don't think your system has done that. At all. I think your system is a fucking joke that's held together with duct tape and prayer and gunpowder. If you believe in it, we welcome you. No, you don't! You do not welcome immigrants. You do not do that thing. But you must believe in it wholeheartedly, not halfway. Whatever that means. How do you measure how much somebody believes in something? Putting them through testing constantly to be like, are you American enough? Ooh, look out, or we're gonna call the feds. Fucking Christ. You must become Americans, free, armed, self-governing, and accountable. Welcome, Matt. Constitutional, sincere, and firm. We frame this offer not as an act of generosity. Yeah, we know. We can tell this is not you being generous. Thank you. Didn't ICE arrest a Canadian on Canadian water? Probably. They're not exactly competent. We frame this offer not... This is an offer? But what are you offering? Does everybody get a pony? Do we get to bring Kinder eggs? We frame this offer not as an act of generosity, but as an invitation to maturity. What? What? Sit down, Alexander. He's got this. Quebec man warning Canadian boaters after he was detained by U.S. Coast Guard and put in jail cell. July 23rd, 2025. A Quebec man says he is outraged after the United States Coast Guard accused him of fishing in American waters, then arrested him before putting him in a jail cell for nearly 2 hours. He said he nearly drowned during the ordeal last Sunday afternoon after the Coast Guard's boat pushed his boat, causing it to capsize. After the incident, he's still shaken up. I'm never going to be the same. He borrowed his friend's boat and was fishing near Venison, Quebec, which is roughly 15 kilometers north of the U.S. border and the northern tip of Lake Champlain. He said he had been fishing for decades and is adamant that he was on Canadian waters when the Coast Guard showed up and told him to turn off his engine, to which he complied. The 3 officers told him he was in U.S. territory. Oh, he is definitively not in U.S. territory. I said, no, I'm very sorry, I am Canadian, and I said, I'm polite enough to talk to you guys, but you cannot arrest me. You can't come across the border and pick me up. But they did. Started his engine and said he wanted to talk to the officers by the shore, but the Coast Guard followed him and tried to push him into the United States, which caused him to go overboard. They're tying my boat to their boat. They're not even taking care of me. The 3rd time I went down, coming out with water in my mouth spitting out, I said, throw me a buoy. Once on their vessel, he said he was aggressively put in handcuffs. I never saw somebody so angry. He was then handed over to U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers who fingerprinted him and put him in jail with his clothes soaking wet and gave him a dirty blanket. I said, are you arresting me? No, sir, you're detained. I said, for what? I said you aggressed me. I didn't do nothing to you guys. I didn't even hit you guys. The U.S. Coast Guard said in a statement to CTV News that he was, quote, in U.S. custom waters when they approached him on July 20th at about 5:30 p.m. While the Coast Guard's 29-foot response boat was alongside the vessel, the operator put the vessel in motion and ignored commands to maintain course and speed for boarding purposes. The vessel then made an abrupt starboard turn and struck the port bow of the Coast Guard's small boat at coordinates blah blah blah, approximately 65 yards south of the U.S.-Canada border. The collision caused the vehicle to capsize, the statement reads. The actions of the operator of the Canadian vehicle are currently under investigation. He was released after nearly 2 hours and reunited with his wife. Quote, it was when I saw him come from the Canadian Customs and he was flabbergasted. I've never seen him like that. We've been together a long time. We treat our pets better than they treated him. That's the difference. There's your main difference between Canada and fucking America right now. Canada treats our pets better than you treat your citizens. Unbelievable. I'm making a joke about Alexander Hamilton. Had this on its background noise and that made me scream. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm screaming also. America, come and join us. America, also, you must have a gun. Do you get a free gun when you join up? Do we get a sign-on bonus of 1 gun? I checked where the boat was in the picture would be based on the surroundings. It was on the coast. Yeah, there's the link that Feline provided shows a map of where it was. Sorry, I couldn't share it with you guys. I have this thing pulled up right now, so it's a little bit harder for me to share. Bro, so ICE is invading Canada and taking our citizens off of Canadian soil. This is gonna go well. Surely this is going to go well. This is definitely not gonna go fucking up and southward so fast. Oh boy. Anyway, back to this guy trying to convince us to join. We frame this offer not as an act of generosity, but as an invitation to maturity, whatever that means. If the citizens of these provinces vote in a clear referenda to pursue statehood, which you have no control over and they can't, so if they are willing to discard Canadian political loyalty and embrace constitutional governance, then we should welcome them. Period. But that welcome comes with expectations. They must disband crown institutions, rewrite their constitutions under American principles, and prepare their courts, schools, and communities for integration into society governed not by parliament or privilege, but by the people and the law. What do you think parliament is? Okay. There will be transition period. This is just genocide. Maine just wants to genocide Canada. There will be transition periods, practical complexities, and political resistance. Period, but none of those are excuses for ignoring the possibility. We won't take no as an answer. The harder the journey, the greater the reward. Yeah, the United States would know. Fucking idiots. Oh my god, gotta love the American logic therein. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. This is fucking. I'm gonna get a brain bleed. Privilege? Yeah, I think they think that the word. I think they think the word parliament is too complicated, so they think only people with like upend education can participate in parliament. And I mean, if you all you have to do is watch some of those. Our prime minister was a fucking high school drama teacher. For years, and you know what he did? Outmaneuvered Donald Trump for 4 years. Whether you like Trudeau or not, he outmaneuvered Donald Trump's first fucking term. And he's a drama high school teacher. Although there's something special about appreciating the high school drama teacher just fucking smacking the shit out of the fucking pedophile in chief. There's something poetic there. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Anyway. And for millions of people currently frustrated by central authority, moral decay, and the bureaucratic suffocation that reward is liberty. I wrote more persuasive essays than this in grade 6. Who the fuck cares what an American senator has to say? Yeah, that is kind of where we're at. No, nobody in Canada knows who this guy is. Nobody actually cares. I think we're all just laughing at him because it's ridiculously offensive. I legitimately think this guy is just trying to piss off Canadians to sow political discord and stoke the fires of war. Michelle, a member for 2 months, said, American, can I eat plastic? Also American, yay gun. Why can't I eat more plastic? It's propaganda, yeah it is. He's managing to spike Kool-Aid future with his own consumption. Yeah. I do think the takeaway from this is going to be that in Canada, we treat our pets better than the United States treats its people. For the people, by the people. Eagle! God, what a joke. What an absolute moral decay. Alright, sure, Jan. Liberty requires borders and commitment. True conservatives, again, as opposed to the fake conservatives, are not expansionists for expansion's sake. But, so you're admitting you're expansionist. So that empire fantasy that you said you definitely didn't have is the thing that you have. Alright. Sure. We do not believe in absorbing the world. What? Does anybody want to remind me why the United States got bombed at Pearl Harbor? Anybody want to remind me real quick about Japan's expansionist mindset at that time period? Liberty requires borders. Exactly. That's why Canada secures their borders with the United States. Yeah. We do not believe in absorbing the world. Period. But that's not a. That's. The amount of grammatical errors in the way this is written is. No wonder people think this is AI. Like an AI wrote this. And then was just signed off by the senator was like, write me the most offensive fucking political. But we do believe in a country worth protecting and, when possible, worth expanding. That's expanding for expansion's sake. Only if it strengthens our traditions, deepens our values, and honors our Constitution. We're not expansionists. We just want Greenland, Canada, Greenland, and Panama. Okay, maybe Gaza too. Like, and Mexico. We don't want the world. We just want the world, guys. We're not taking everything. What am I reading? What is this? This is war talk. This is we're gonna take over your country and you should let us. Ukraine, yeah. Ukraine as well. Oh, Cuba, yeah. Guatemala. Iraq, probably. If the people of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba are ready to stand by us, not as neighbors. Bitch! You haven't sent shit to help us deal with fires. You want to talk about standing with you? Standing with what? Fuck you. Not as a neighbor or trade partners, but as citizens. Then let us raise the flag, sign the compacts, and welcome them into a family worth defending. Defending from what? You're the one doing the expansion. As a Brit, I apologize over our past interactions with indigenous people and hope the USA and Russia don't get away with what we did so long ago. Yeah, no, yeah. God, I'm so glad we're spending more money on our military. But let there be no illusions. Period. To join this union is to leave behind another. Period. You cannot serve two flags. Period. You cannot straddle two systems. Period. Guys. The United States governing system is not a proper democracy. It is straddling more than one system. And it's held together with fucking duct tape. Your country doesn't even have a fucking name, dude. You're the United States. You're a group of states that are loosely united. You don't have, this is why, in my opinion, why when people from America, people from the United States travel and somebody says, where are you from? They respond with a state name. They don't respond with the United States or America. They say California or Maine or Wyoming or Missouri or wherever, whatever their state is. I'm from North Dakota. And they just expect everybody in the world to know what all the states are in the United States. You can't serve two flags, says the guy serving the flag of the United States and of Maine. Yeah, good point. Hopes and prayers and dreams of freedom. Yeah, I know, right? Fucking pixie dust, my friends. Like, what do you mean? Like, how could... It's baffling to me that there's so many people in the United States that haven't actually noticed that they don't have a country. And in the same breath, they call Europe a country. Most Americans, when they're traveling, if you ask an American where they're from, they answer with the state. They don't answer with the United States. And everybody else knows more about the United States than most Americans seem to know, or most United States citizens seem to know about the United States. Tell you what, everyone can start taking America seriously again when they name their country. The United States doesn't have a name. They are currently the United States of Middle North America. That's what they are. They're in the middle of North America, and they are United States. That's not a name. I'll also take you more seriously when the United States stops pretending that eagles sound like hawks. Alas. Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. In this vision, we offer not just roads, markets, or security. Well, you haven't offered any of those things, but okay. We offer something rarer. The chance to become part of the last best hope for Earth? I thought you said you didn't want to fucking take... We do not believe in absorbing the world. The chance to become part of the last best hope for Earth. Welcome to Earth. This is our Independence Day. Demaglio for Demacia. Oh my fucking god. Guys, we've jumped the shark. We've jumped the shark! The United States of America, the last best hope for Earth. I'm dead. Ugh. We only have one road in Canada. Yeah, we only need one. Huh. I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my god, it's too funny. I'm gonna be here for a minute. This is gonna live in my brain up there with I don't think what thinking is. Huh. Huh. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay. In this video, let me do it serious. Let me do it serious. In this vision. No. In this vision. No, that's still not right. Hold on. I gotta fix my voice. I killed it. I killed it laughing too hard. In this vision, we offer not just roads, markets, or security. We offer something rarer. The chance to become part of the last best hope of Earth. A nation under God, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. That is the invitation. The welcome mat is out. All men are created equal. That's why you've got concentration camps. That's why you have things like trickle-down economics. That's why you have pay-to-win white-collar crime. And a whole lot of lobbying. By lobbying, I mean bribing politicians. In your Supreme Court. And so many political assassinations. Oh my fucking god. That's why you want to get rid of gay rights, right? That's why trans people aren't allowed medical care, right? Yeah. Because all men are created equal. That's why you want to take away women's rights to vote. Sure. Okay. Alright. If you say so. If you say so. That's not the right thing. If you say so, Joe. Guys, we all need to listen to Joe from the United States. He knows what God wants. The last best hope for Earth, of Earth. Not even for Earth, of Earth. God, the grammar in this fucking piece of shit. Look at this. Become part of the last best hope of Earth instead of for Earth. Oh my god. Ugh. Amazing. Well, this was fun and gross, but also funny. Very funny. This is a very funny joke, sir. Wow. Alright. That's it. I'm done. I don't have any final thoughts about this. This was just really fucking stupid and a really dumb thing to say. I don't think it's gonna start a war. I don't think Canada or Canadians are that stupid that they would start a war over some nameless piece of shit senator trying to say he wants to take over our country. I don't think we're gonna give a shit. The end. Him. All men are created equal. Trans man. I'm a man. Him. Not you. Yeah. Not you. You don't count. Alright. Thanks so much for joining me. That was really fucking stupid and really terrible. I'll be back tomorrow at some time. Same time, probably, actually. What are we gonna talk about? I don't know. I got some stuff on the back burner that I want to talk about because it's just mostly random shit. Because most of it isn't like its own stream, so it's just gonna be smaller. But, yeah. Bye!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.